Hi, my name is Zaria and I'm a political science and communications student at the University of Ottawa. This video is about Dr. Strangelove's course, Political Economy of the Media, and today I'll be going over 6 significant things I learned throughout the year, or the semester. So the first thing that comes to mind when I think about the political economy of the media is Donald Trump. Now this may be because he was a valid topic of conversation during many different classes throughout the semester, but I also think him being inaugurated and causing so much chaos in the political and economic world created space to talk about him in this course. From our lectures where he was featured, there were a couple interesting things that caught my attention. First of all, I had observed this slightly, but never enough to actually clock it, but the people he surrounds himself with. Everyone around Trump seems to fit the image of the stereotypical American family, being white, Christian, and as for a woman, blonde. We also talked in class about how he uses these people to get more of a political following. The blonde woman is a tool to sell, and as we learned, sex sells, and the over-sexualization of women is something that has been ingrained in our media. Going back to the topic of sexualization, another significant thing I learned is about how much of the media is controlled by sexual predators, creeps. From once again, Donald Trump to Rupert Murdoch, the founder of Fox News, we talked about how these very wealthy, powerful people who are also very morally corrupt are largely in control of our media systems, including the content we consume, the algorithms that put that content on our devices. And they're also the ones creating or destroying the guidelines that are set to protect the public on these platforms. We also touched on capitalism in classes, and I learned a lot about it and how it has created such toxic systems in our world. When I first learned about capitalism, I thought it was just a separation of individuals from the goods or products they're producing, but it's so much more than that. I learned that it's how our society has created a system where there is the ultra wealthy and ultra poor, and how there's a diminishing middle class. These classes also opened my eyes to understanding that democracy doesn't always equal good, and that a lot of theories and ways of life are a lot different in practice than in thought. What this class did that none of my other classes has ever done is put the climate crisis at the forefront of learning. In many field reports I did, lectures I came to, or research I did, I was thinking a lot more about our physical world than any other classes I've taken. Throughout this, I've learned not to live with anxiety around it, but to keep it at the forefront of my mind. And a big component that goes along with keeping the climate crisis at the forefront of my mind has been consumerism and learning about my own individual choices through field reports. None of my other classes allow such creativity and require me to analyze myself so much, so I really learned to think about the choices I make on a deeper level, from the food I eat to the clothing I buy to the apps I use on my phone. And the final thing I learned in this class is how beneficial creativity is, especially in the times we're living in. Being creative is a necessary outlet, and it goes further than just benefiting the self. It brings meaning to our society and connects us together as a whole, which I think is one of the most important things.